You guys are able to hear me? The voice is clear.
Yes, sir.
Cool. I think we can get it started. Yeah. So as usual, same question. So anyone has any doubt or any questions on previously completed topic or any sessions? All good. That's nice. All of you good. No issues. We can, get it started. So today, some useful and interesting stuff we're gonna discuss. So not only today, every day we are discussing useful stuff, but yeah, today we are going to discuss about some interesting things. Okay, so which is in the perspective of virtual machine. Okay, how to create a virtual machine, working with Windows and Linux, VMs in Azure. Some of the real-time project use cases, right? We are going to explore. In addition to that, we are also going to discuss about disk management in Azure. Today, highlighting part is the use case. Okay. So we got some tasks. We made it as a use case. Okay. I'll just show you over. In that, okay. So anyone already worked on Azure VM before? How many of you new to Azure VM? Because accordingly, I'll structure the way I'll. People are not talking, go on mute. Bhavin, myself, Bala. Anybody already worked on VM?
Oh, sorry.
VM?
Oh,
Yeah,
sounds great.
I'm having experience of 2 years in Azure admin. I used to work in VM VNet
Very good.
for
Very,
disk management.
that's perfect, actually. What about others?
So I have created just a VM only.
Uh,
VM system.
no much hands-on, is it?
Yeah, no.
Okay. Anybody else?
I also created a couple of VMs many times in the project.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Majority of people, some of them already has some exposure, some of them new to this. Okay. So let's get started. If already knows it, it will be, refreshing session for you guys. Okay. So I'll go to Azure. How many of you know created Azure account? How many of you had to create?
So having account already was created.
That's perfect.
I created the account.
Very good. Very good. So make use of that account to do the hands-ons, whatever we discussed here. Yeah. Let me go ahead. I'll create one virtual machine. Okay. This way, right? We are going to learn about how to create the VM. So let me click on create VM. So any resource, if you're going to create in Azure, right? Most predominantly, this will be our, interface, how it looks. First one, we need to select our subscription. Yeah, day before yesterday, we discussed about this, right? And make sure you have to select your resource group. Don't delete Prakash. This is one of my production sub resource group. So I'm going to create a new resource group. This is for high-tech Tamil Bhumi resource group. Okay. HV stands for high-tech, TB stands for Tamil Bhumi, and RG stands for resource group. Let me create a new resource group. Now I need to assign a name to my virtual machine. So we'll call it as a Windows server. In addition to that, which region you wanted to provision your particular virtual machine. So Central India is close to our location. So I'm selecting that. Availability zone options. If you guys are okay to physically separate your resources within a Azure region between your availability zone, select this. So it will randomly take, which availability zone 1 or 2 or 3, whatever one, right? You have to select in the below drop down. Okay. Whichever the availability zone you are comfortable, you can select and drop down. Now make sure you are creating any cluster or something like that. Make sure both the servers are in different availability zone. If you create this server in zone 1, make sure the next server you should be creating in different zone. Okay. So security type, we have various types of the trusted, standard, confidential virtual machine. So usually, right, in production, we'll go with the trusted launch virtual machine because it's protect against our persistent advanced attack. Okay, literally this is generation 2 VMs. So secure boot is enabled with this. So somehow decent security policies are around this type. Okay, so we would go with this. So what operating system you want? Operating systems are calling it as an image here in Azure. So click on it, select any one of the Windows operating system. Okay, 62-bit size. Size, how much CPU, how much RAM you would require. See, 1 core CPU, 1 GB RAM. So here itself you can see the charges per month, 2,720. If you run this VM, you would approximately pay 2,720. Okay, to virtual CPU and 4 GB RAM. Let me select this. Here we'll give the username and password. Let me give some username and log into that VM. I gave some password. So now what port you want? I have allowed RDP 3389 because I need to take RDP, right? Remote desktop protocol. Once the virtual machine is created, through this 3389 port only, I would able to connect with my virtual machine. Okay, so I'm selecting this. Now, next step, right? So we have not done with the first, basic part. We have something called disk. In the disk, right? We will select how much number of disk I required. Okay, default disk size is 127 GB. If you want to add a new disk, you can add it. Even you can add it at present or after creation of VM also, we would be able to adding that. So next step is networking. Networking VNet. VNet probably we'll discuss by next week. Here is the place how we'll create our VNet, how we'll control our IP addresses, all those things we will see here. Then management. We have various options are there, but I don't want you guys to make it confused with this, but I'll tell you on high level. Okay, because those areas and all we'll never touch. After giving the basic, we'll select the networking, then we'll review and create directly. We'll go. Okay, small options will be there here. So Defender for cloud. If you are enabling this, the Defender will be get activated to your VM. So automatic shutdown when you want to do any backup you wanted to enable, you can do it. So those kind of extra features will be there. These are add-ons only, I would say. Monitoring, is there any enabled recommended alert? If any alert come, we can configure to send it. If any server VM down or anything like that, we can enable for that. Boot diagnostics, if something happened to troubleshoot, we can enable the boot diagnostics, all those things. Advanced, so here we can add some extension if you want to install any application, any package along with your VM, right? You can select it. So along with your VM, that extension get installed. Okay. So apart from that, right?
Sorry, that advanced extensions means that along with operating system related or application related?
Separate third-party software, antivirus, something like that. It will come along with your OS. While creating VM itself, it will be get it installed. Okay.
Okay.
Totally, but 99.99% will not use it, but they are given an option. Okay. Agent for cloud work, Symantec. Okay. Monitoring. No, any other third-party Chef VM extension, Control M, Datadog, any third-party application, we can add it. Okay, custom data. If you want to run any script inside your, pass a script configuration while VM being provisioned, right? You can pass them over here in the custom data. If you are creating Linux server and all, if you want to do something in the startup, you can pass the shell script, something like we can do it. And final one is tag. When you have hundreds of resources, right? You can add the tags actually. Maybe, right? If you go to any mall to buy one beautiful shirt for you or your friend. Once you approach, showroom, Max or Trends or whatever, you will start search for a shirt. Every shirt will have a tag. What is the use of the tag? The tag will contain what is the size of the shirt and which brand it is and what is the pricing, mainly for pricing. and what material it has been, it's a jean cloth or cotton or whatever type of the cloth. Every data will be mentioned there. Imagine if you are not using the tagging concept in the showrooms, what will happen? We will unsure what is our size. Okay, we every time, right, we need to check with our shopkeeper like how much cost for this shirt, how much it's cost around. So each and every shirt you need to wear and you need to confirm whether this is suits for you or not. So it's a little bit difficult, right? That is why we are having a tag. So tags literally giving you the metadata about that particular product. When you have thousands of shirts available, it gives information about that particular piece. Correct? Similarly, when come to Azure, you will have hundreds of VM in your environment. If you go to live project, you'll have hundreds of VMs. Out of hundreds of VM, right? Out of hundreds of VM, what will happen? This could, give us information about where this VM created, what purpose we created. Maybe we can create it something like application server. Is it a production one? Yes. So future, when you have multiple resources, we would be able to filter by running a script or something. Hey, out of 100 server, filter only the application web server who contains the tag of application web server. Filter that data alone. Like we can filter it, we can do some activity. Okay, that is why we are assigning a tag. Optional, totally optional. But if you go any project, right, every project will have their own tagging mechanism because some of the team, multiple team will use same Azure subscription. On that case and all, they'll differentiate the resources and billing based on the tagging only. Every project will have a cost ID. Every project will have a project name. So they will add those information. So by adding the tag, the resources get more, info. In future, it will be easy for us to refer. In some of the organization, right, they would also have a policy. Policy says if you're not having enough tag, you will not be able to create the resources. So tag is mandatory. That's how also some projects are there. When you get into Azure environment and project, while getting a KT about that project, you have to come, understand about the tagging strategy, what they uses. Finally, we are going to create a VM. Okay, validation passed. So let me click on create. Will be get it ready shortly.
നെസൂർ നിനക്ക് സേവ് ചെയ്യണം உணவு, தன்னுடைய வாழ்வியல், தன்னுடைய உறைவிடம் எல்லாத்தையும் சரி பண்ணி பெர்ஃபெக்ட்டா கொடுக்கப்பட்ட அந்த
They are literally waiting for resource to create. Yeah, I think the resource is ready. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not good.
Yeah, you're talking something. You have any doubt?
No, I need a difference of multi-cloud, AWS and Azure in DevOps. What is the major difference?
Nothing different. Only infrastructure is different. The rest all going to be the same concept. Okay, whatever resource you are provisioning on top of Azure, that infra gonna differ in AWS. Rest all roadmap, whatever we discussed yesterday, exactly same, 100%.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and another thing here, they use ARM for provisioning the resources. In AWS, they are using cloud formation template. You wanted to go with a common approach, use Terraform for infrastructure support. Okay, rest all
both Azure and AWS.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ansible work same, Git, pipeline tools, all work same.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. So yeah, my virtual machine is ready. Now we are going to connect with the virtual machine. So in here, how many of you know Windows user who all having Windows laptop? Who all having Linux laptop? Who all having Mac laptop?
I have a Windows.
Okay.
I have Windows.
I have Windows.
Okay. I think majority of people are having Windows. So in your Windows laptop, you can open, remote desktop tool, MSTSE in run command. If you type, you will get one application, remote desktop application. Using that itself, we can connect it. If anybody Linux or Mac users, sometimes by default, that remote desktop tool will not be there in your laptop. So in that case, you need to install it separately, like how I did. This is the tool. Root admin is the username. Welcome at 123. It's a password. Let me try to connect with the virtual machine using the tool.
How many users we can log in on that virtual machines?
A number of users. There's no restrictions. But when you go to live environment, we will add this VM into our domain. Okay. So whoever the domain users we have, we will be able to log into that particular VM. Or you wanted to create a local users, create a local user also. But it depends on the, at a time, 2 users would be able to log into this server. So my server is ready. Right? My server is pretty much ready. Here we can do whatever we want. For now, I'll minimize this server. I'll open one of the document. That document is all about a real-time project use case document. Okay. Where I kept that. Yeah. Okay. This is our real-time project use case document. Yeah, from Monday, most probably we will have a discussion regarding this use case only. As I said many times, even yesterday also, we are not freshers. We all of us having some of the experience. When we have experience, when we want to switch our job to Azure and DevOps kind of technologies, you have to be familiarized with this kind of use cases. That's really matters. So that's what each and every service is, right? Here, only today and tomorrow we'll done with our general discussion. After that, right, we'll go and approach with use cases only. This is what really we need. Okay. Today we are going to discuss about this particular use case. Let's see how it goes. I'll show you other use cases as well. Azure Virtual Machine. Okay. So what is the requirement? My client Nokia need a Windows VM for data storage. Of course, yes, we have created one virtual machine by Windows VM. So make sense, make use of the same server for our requirement as well. So we have a server ready. We have server ready. Okay. So in this server, if we can go, as per my client, right? So launch the server with 3 additional disks actually. By default, if you take this server, how many hard disks must be there? By default, 2 volumes are there. One is temporary storage. Forget about that. This is our operating system storage. Okay. So we have a OS drive will be there. Now we need to create a, as per my client need, we need to create a 100 GB, 70 GB, 50 GB, 3 additional disk I need to create. 100 GB, 70 GB, 50 GB. Like that, I need to create a additional volumes. Okay, 100 GB, 70 GB, 50 GB. Likewise, we need to create a volumes. Likewise, we need to create a volumes. Okay. Once we created the volumes, right? Yeah, first we'll create the volume and come. If you go to the virtual machine, right, there is an option here called disk. If you go there in Azure console, you would be able to see option called a disk. Also, we have a dedicated service available in the name of disk. Let me open the disk service in new tab. Okay, here you go. Already 2 disks are available. Okay, let's forget about it. But we need to create a new disk. Click on create disk. Which resource group I need to select out of 3? What is
You
our
can select
HTTP.
Yeah, correct. This resource group. This is our resource group. Disk name, I would say disk 1, something like that. So this is our region. This is our zone. Make sure those are selected and change the type. I don't want for 1000 GB. Let's make it for 100 GB.
If you are not giving a right resource group, then it will not be within this. You will not assign to within this server.
Yeah, you will
file.
not be able to assign this disk to your virtual machine. You need to make sure to give correct resource group, correct region, correct availability zone. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, my disk is ready. Now what I'll do, I'll go to my VM. I'll just refresh the page because another tab we created the disk, right? It will not sometime get reflect. I refresh the page. I'll go to attach existing disk. Already I have one. I'm going to attach existing disk. Click on this. Go to drop down. Any disk what we created, this is a disk. Why it is showing? Because only one disk created, which is an unattached state. In the same region, same availability zone. That's why it's coming up. Okay, let me select this. That is another way of creating disk. Also, you can create a disk over here itself. Create disk. Disk name is disk 2, 70 GB. Like that, you can create a disk. If you click on apply, okay, immediately disk 2 and 3 creating, updating the virtual machine.
So this will by default it will go within the same resource group and availability zone, right?
Yep, correct. Okay, looks like everything done. No, these are the data disk. This is my OS disk. All are present. We can validate the same thing in our console as well. And one more thing, even if you are doing in the on-prem environment, you need a downtime for this. Correct? If I refresh this, I should supposed to see totally 3 more new disks. Why it is not coming? Any idea?
We have to refresh it in the drive.
I have done.
We need to add it from the device manager.
Enable the disk.
Unallocated, unallocated
Manager, disk management. Okay.
disk manager.
We have to enable the disk patterns.
Yeah, let me open the
Should
disk
be in
manager.
unallocated.
See, new 3 disks are added. So click on OK. Look at this. 3 unallocated disks available. Let me create a volume from this. Okay, all good, right? So our new volumes are present here. Make sense? There are 2 ways how to add volumes to our virtual machine. As client requested, we have done that. Now what we need to do, duplicate the data of 50 GB disk into 80 GB disk. Literally whatever the 50 GB disk you have, right? We are going to create a snapshot backup. Snapshot backup we're gonna do. Okay. So future we can use it for any purpose. Before taking a backup, I'll go inside of the server. Where is my 50 GB volume? Here, right? I'll go there. I'll create some content out of it. So nearly we have a 20 plus contents or other. Okay. So 20 contents we created. So empty text pad. Now I'm going to this 50 GB volume. If you go there, click on the 50 GB disk. We are going to create a snapshot from this disk. When you create snapshot, we have various advantages are there. I'll tell you each, but this is for creating snapshot. Okay, snapshot for taking a backup of that particular volume. Okay, so future anything happen to your primary volume, you can restore it from your snapshot backup. Okay. There are two options given, incremental and full backup. Okay. First time we'll take a full backup. From next time onwards, we'll take the incremental backup. Okay. If snapshot is in progress. All of you know the difference between incremental backup and full backup, right? Anyone can explain about that?
Adi, can you
Once
please
full backup
explain
is
that?
done, every day's update, it will be tracked as incremental updates. So only that modified changes will be modified files will be pushed to the disk.
Perfect. Yeah, correct. Okay, snapshot has taken. If you go to the resources, you should be able to see. Look at this. Actually, snapshot is another service basically. If you search snapshot. Okay. I think my production snapshot, this one is, which comes under the not delete resource group. This is our backup what we created just before. Okay. All right. We'll go to our architecture diagram. So once we created a snapshot, right? Duplicate the 5 GB volume to 80 GB volume attached to secondary VM. Actually, what we need to do, we need to convert this as a 80 GB volume now. From the snapshot, full snapshot, we need to convert to 80 GB volume. Okay, then we need to attach to
It's 8 GB or 80 GB?
actually I while typing I missed the 0. Okay. That's the typo. It's actually 80 GB. Okay. So this is my second VM. We need to attach this volume here. Okay, what is the reason we are doing like that? By doing this, right, we are understanding from one VM to another VM how we can attach the volume in any future if any requirement comes, right? We will be able to understand this from one VM to another VM how we are attaching the disk. That is one use case. Second requirement is from the VM1, you have some certain data. You wanted to transfer the data alone to your VM2 means usually we'll transfer it through network. So you know, right, networking, transmitting data will be time consuming one. So here we can take the volume, I mean disk snapshot, convert as a volume attached to your secondary server, locally copying. It's a bit more faster. This is another reason. Okay. Third reason is imagine you are having this volume. Currently, it's located in US India, sorry, Central India region, zone 1, availability zone 1. In future, you want the same data to be available in different, availability zone, different region while taking snapshot, right? At the time of creating volume, you have option to change that actually. Okay, these 3-4 advantages are there. So I'll show you. This is our snapshot, backup snapshot. When you click on create disk from this snapshot, look at this. You have option to change your availability zones. You have option to change the size of your volume. Okay, you can even change the volume type also. Okay, disk name we can provide, and you can click on create. So okay, these many advantage we have when you deal with your snapshot. Okay. Now I'll create a 80 GB disk. Also, I'll create a second VM. We'll attach and we'll see. Okay, the virtual machine part, I'll go and I'll spin up a new VM. So this will take another 2 minutes to create new VM. Okay. So VM is ready. We'll go to the VM. Right immediately we'll update our disk also. Go to disk. No. Disk attached. Attach existing disk. Most probably disk, new disk. Okay. We'll apply it. Once done, we'll go and take the IP address of your VM. I'll add one more machine. This is going to be my second machine. Connect. Root admin. Welcome. Path 1 to 3. Oh, password wrong. What happened? I don't know, something happened. No, something wrong. No issue. If you come down, you have an option for reset password. Okay, looks like it's done. It's updated. We will try to log in.
Sorry, the user one we can give any AD groups also. Anything AD
Active
group
Directory
can
group.
yeah, Active
We
Directory.
can. Yeah, we can. Once you log into that virtual machine, usually what we will do in our project is we will connect with our Active Directory domain. Okay.
Okay.
So when you connect with the Active Directory domain, any domain user, you will be able to log in. Okay. So you got the volume available. But how much GB we added? How much GB we received?
We added 80 GB. Right?
Correct. Why? We got very less. If you go there, what are the data should be there inside?
All the 20 files.
Yeah, that files are looks good available, but so let's go and check disk management. We need to expand the size actually. Okay, that remaining 30 GB will be in unallocated state. Okay, right click new simple volume, or you can click over here and expand the volume. Here 50 GB, which turns to 80. Okay.
Okay.
If you want, you can create a new separate volume, or you can extend the same volume. Depends upon your need, you can plan for it.
If you create separate volume, it will become another drive or
Another
it will
drive,
become-
yeah. It will become another drive. Okay, guys. So now we made 80 GB disk present here. Okay. So my client Nokia, so they created a data server, first server. They have launched with 3 extra volume. They duplicated the 50 GB volume, made it as 80 GB. While taking a snapshot, these are the advantage we have. We have added to the secondary server. Okay. In that VM enabled remote and web service from anywhere. Okay. In that second server, right? We can enable a remote and web servers to anywhere. I mean 3389 and port 80 for HTTP. This port is for HTTP. This port is for RDP, remote desktop protocol. So we need to make sure my
Hello, Hari.
yeah.
Sorry for the interrupt.
Yeah.
Can you summary like first initially you created 3 disks and then you created a snapshot. From that snapshot, you created another new disk and mapped to the second VM, or how the data got synced automatically?
Yeah, from the snapshot, I created the new volume.
New volume. Okay.
Yeah, from the snapshot, I created a new volume.
So when you create a new VM, you attach the new disk which you created from the snapshot, right?
Correct. Yeah. That's how the data is synced here. Okay.
Okay. Initially, you mentioned as a full backup. So if any new text file you have uploaded in the drive, so how the incremental backup will do? Whether you need to change again or
you need to create one more
what is the
snapshot,
process?
or you need to have automation in place in Azure account. Every day, one backup we need to take, something like that. We need to do the automation separately. So every day it will take the changes only in the new incremental backup.
Okay.
If you want to sync between 2 server at a time, if you have made changes in one server, immediately another server have to get synced means you need to configure. There is something called file share available. Okay, common storage will attach to each server. That is separate concept. By next week we'll discuss. Okay, we'll create something called file share.
Okay.
Network disk will be created. We'll add the network disk to both the server. If you add one file here, instantly get updated in the another server. That's how it works.
Okay.
Currently, our intention is to how to create VM, how to manage the disk, how to manage the backup, snapshot. What are the use of snapshot? When are the scenario we can go for using snapshot? How to attach the new volume to secondary server from old snapshot. Okay, that is what the goal today.
Okay.
So in the same goal continuation, as I said, we need to open this ports and all. Basically, when you take any virtual machine, right, there is something called a security group will be there actually. What does mean by network security group? This is my security group. This is my security group actually. What is the use of it? What is security group?
So to allow the port usage and outside network access.
Yeah, correct. The red color layer, network security group, nothing but it's a software firewall to your virtual machine. So what are the port you are allowed to the VM to access? Which are the protocol you allowed to the VM to access? All those things we will have the control in the network security group only. In short form, people is called as a NSG, network security group, NFG. So if you go to any VM, right, the network security group will be there. I'll show you the console live. Okay, even if you take this VM, right, there is something called network setting. Click on that. Here you should be able to see network security group. At present, right, we opened this port only, port RDP 3389 has opened. In order to open, and additionally in future, you want to enable any particular port, go to create port rule, inbound rule. There are 2 ports rules are there. One is inbound and another outbound. Inbound is nothing but incoming request to your server. From outside, people trying to access your server. That's something called inbound. Outbound means from your server, you are going out. Okay. So always we need to be more conscious about inbound role. That does need to be secured because anybody can come inside, right? So make sure you are open the required and necessary port only. Okay. So outbound, no matter. So nothing will go out from our mission. So let's click on the inbound. Here you need to add the port range. 80 for HTTP you need to add. You want to allow or deny, you can specify here. Okay. So once you added, you can see, yeah, 80 as allowed. If you want to block any particular port, you can do that. Feel free to do that. Maybe you wanted to block port 25. You can add it. We have denied. Port 25.
If you do not do any allow and deny, then
By default, it's
automatically
blocked. By default, it's
default.
blocked. Yeah. Then why we have a separate deny option means you allowed 80 for everyone, right? Any specific IP addresses you want to deny, you can deny it. Like 80. Any specific IP addresses for 100 dot. For this IP address alone, you wanted to deny me, you can deny. Okay. 80 will be allowed to everyone, only this particular IP can be denied. So those kind of network settings, everything will be controlled under the network security group only. Okay. Also, the second server can reach any destination point and globally we open. That is not a security best practices. We will not do. Just to highlight you only, I mentioned that in our use case. Make sure we are not supposed to expose any of my application to globally. That is security breach. Okay. Coming to the another use case, right? We have, if we keep go, it will keep on, we'll keep on add the weightage and more heavy content into it. Each use case, if you check, will keep on increase the load. So here you can see my client need a web server. So we'll provision the web server. One is for separate disk for data and OS. Web server source stored under the data disk. The source code, web page application, right, stored on the data disk. Web server should be accessed by static public IP. Okay. Also, they need to backup web server. Like this is one of the use case. This is a storage account. And storage account is the biggest use case. So anyone understand this project scenario? Document management system. My project is they are going to use Azure storage for document management. So you are tasked with developing a document management system for a legal firm. One auditing company. For them, we need to set up a document management system. The system should allow lawyers and legal assistants to upload, organize, and manage legal documents securely. Additionally, clients should be able to access the specific document related to their cases via secure web portal. So these are the requirements they have. We need to implement it. So we need to create Azure storage container, soft delete after 30 days of retention, versioning and snapshot, static web hosting. Like these are the things we need to implement. This is one of the use case. So each and every services, right, we'll go and approach with the use case. Each and every services, we'll go and approach the use case. The use cases are actually, I'll pick it from my, you won't believe this use case document, right? Scenario based document for Azure administration, DevOps, both. Almost I spent 3 months for me to create along with my team. For each and every use cases, specifically I picked. Why we picked the specific use case means, see, for this one use case, almost we touched how many services? We touched the Windows the virtual machine service, snapshot service, disk service, network security. Okay, the 4 service we touched, correct?
Right.
Similarly, each and every use cases, right? I structured in a way it will touch minimum, 3 to 4 services. So that way the use cases will be. So the wide range of knowledge you can expect. So my client, right, TVS, they want to launch a web server publicly along with the database server in the backend. Establish the connectivity between web server and database server. 2 network we need to create. One network for web server, another network for subnet database server. We need to establish the connectivity between web and database server. But you can see database server, we are not supposed to provide public connectivity because this network very crucial. All my data and all my application data, everything will store in the database server only, right? It need to be very much secure because it's crucial. So there is no public access for my database server. Ensure website can have a public network access. So we need to construct the networking environment like that according to these client requirement. So each and everything, right, we'll approach with the scenario only. Every services, even load balancer if you go, VM scale set if you go, everything. All of the, so even DevOps services also will approach with the scenarios only. Okay, actually my DevOps use case in another directory, I believe, but let me check and open. Look at this. Actually, I did this activity when I was worked with CTS. So CTS got a new project which is in pipeline. They are doing a POC with their client. Okay, whatever the application they are having in the virtual machine, we are going to move it as a Docker containers. Okay, this POC we need to submit. While demonstrating things to my client, right, in the meeting, we'll have to demonstrate following things. Installation of brand new Docker server in the Linux, Docker package in the Linux server. We have to download our custom image. We have to create the containers. We need to show them how are we going to handle the multiple container, because they have a multiple web applications in the VM. So how are we going to handle multiple them and managing them? How are we going to handle them remotely? This POC we need to explore and we need to provide to them. Okay, this is one scenario. And this is for Kubernetes. This is for Ansible. Okay. My client environment completely set up with the Linux server, developer, testing engineer, dev engineers. So the reason behind Linux server, secure and fast. Okay. So close to 200 servers are running in my Azure environment. So people are doing manually these tasks. What are the tasks? Package update, vulnerability check and fix, report collection, script file execution. All this activity for all 200 servers so far we are handling manually. So using Ansible, I need to automate this task. This is one of the implementation we need to do it in our environment. This is what we're going to see. This is what we are going to see. So it will be looks like that only actually. For Jenkins, my client centrally maintaining a repository in GitHub. From there, they wanted to code for Jenkins. All the repositories were written in Java. They have a setup to run a pipeline. So like, each and everything, right, we'll approach with the scenarios and use case. It's completely made with scenarios. Terraform. Okay, Terraform also project requirement. Whenever we have a requirement of account, Azure account creation, the resources, everything we'll do manually. We need to automate it. So everything we have, structurized with use cases, guys. Okay. This way only, I am also, even yesterday, if you remember, I asked you, all of you, to go ahead and have a study with the use cases. Do not, rely on the theory, understanding the concept. That's fine. But more than that, you should know, if you are learning one particular service or particular DevOps tools, what are the different client requirement in that? What are the different